Beauty means to me feeling comfortable and happy, whatever that is for you, right?
Mm.
Not someone telling you, oh, you should do Botox and get rid of that frown line, or oh, your skin. It's so personal and it has to do with your own confidence and what makes you happy
Mhm.
and getting to what makes you happy.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Sharona Zarabi, the owner and founder of Get Glowing Med Spa, specializing in advanced corrective skincare and results-driven facial treatments. She holds a master's degree in nursing and graduated with honors from UCLA with a bachelor's degree in neuroscience. Sharona combines medical expertise with a holistic understanding of the skin to create customized, science-based treatment plans. Her approach blends clinical precision with compassionate care to deliver real, lasting results. Outside of aesthetics, she's a proud single mom of two, her daughter 20 years old and son 16, who inspire her daily to chase her goals and live with purpose. So Sharona, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Yes, let's start with this. How did you first get interested in the medical field?
Oh my gosh. I was in high school and it was my first science class. And I remember, I have a horrible memory, but I remember the teacher talking about the immune system and how our body fights things. And I was like, that is fascinating. And after that, I thought I was going to be a doctor. And long story, I'll bore you all the details, but I ended up doing nursing.
Hmm. Okay. And so when you were doing nursing, how did you end up transitioning into aesthetics, or did you just dive right into aesthetics once you did your nursing?
No, I actually wasn't sure what I wanted to get into, so I did what everyone told me, where you first, in nursing school, they teach you only how to be in a hospital. They
Hmm.
don't teach you anything else.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'm gonna be bedside nurse, see how I liked it. I was crying every single day.
Hmm.
I hated it.
Hmm.
I lasted 3 months. After 3 months, I was like, I'm done with this.
Hmm.
No idea what I was gonna do. I was like, if anything, I'm just gonna go move in with my parents and not work in a hospital until I figure this out. So, yeah, and then after that, I did some home health and which was great. I like that. And then I also worked at a med spa at the same time. And
Hmm.
that's really when my passion really just, I realized how much I loved aesthetics because, I'm 48. I've been taking care of my skin since my 20s. I've already like have a passion for aesthetics and looking young and what's the best thing to look natural, but to age, as gracefully as possible. So it was pretty easy
Okay.
transition.
Okay. So then you got into aesthetics, and then what led you to ultimately decide to open up your own practice?
Huh. Well, I hated working for someone else.
It's easy how it starts.
So I wanted to make my own decisions. And I always did have this entrepreneurial, vision for myself. I always thought how amazing to own a business and, you know, just do get the most out of, doing what I like to do, but also doing it how I like to do it. And a
Mhm.
lot of times when you're working for someone, you don't have that option.
Mhm.
You're going to do things the way they want you to do things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't really vibe with that.
Okay. So now that you have your own practice, I want to talk about some of the treatments that you provide, and I want to go a little bit deeper into the duo treatment. So you have this
Mhm.
treatment where you do laser facials, also microneedling with exosomes. So could you talk a
Yeah.
bit more about this? Like, what is that? What does it do? Like, what's the end result? And in what situations would it be a good fit for somebody to get this type of treatment?
Okay. Really, it's for everybody. First of all, we know microneedling is clinically proven to increase your collagen by 400%. I didn't make it up. It's
Mhm.
clinically proven for treatments. Now, we also know that there's amazing research happening with exosomes in
Mhm.
medicine altogether. with skin, with and all sorts of medicine rehab. So I love the pairing of microneedling with exosomes. Microneedling can only go so deep. They're
Mm-hmm.
tiny microneedles
Mm-hmm.
that go about 2 millimeters deep. So fine, we're building collagen here. But what about if we can build collagen one level deeper? And that's what the YAG laser facial does. So this laser will actually bypass the top layer, go to the second layer, and we're doing the same thing. We're building collagen, we're causing micro trauma via heat. And when you do both of these together, the results are magic because we are now covering both layers of the skin.
Mm. Okay. I want to take a step back as far as exosomes. For
Yeah.
people who have never heard of exosomes, what are exosomes?
Okay. So exosomes are messenger cells. Okay. So they're stem cells. They're stem cells. What are stem cells? They're messenger cells that tell the cells around us, oh, make more cells. Oh, make more cells of this, or make more cells of this. They make the cells wherever you put them. So when we're putting them on the skin, they're making healthy new cells for the
Mm.
skin
Okay.
in the skin, right?
Yeah.
So what now the reason I love the lab I use, there's just one donor. So
Mm.
someone donated her placenta 20 years ago. They took the placenta, they took all the stem cells out of the placenta, okay? And well, maybe not all, but they took stem cells out of her placenta and they've been regenerating those stem cells in the lab for the past 20 cells. Why do I like that? One donor, much safer. A lot of companies will get multiple donors. Like there might be a donor next week. Well, has that really been cleaned or tested or I like the idea that one donor, less things can go wrong.
Mhm. Okay, got it. So you have this exosomes, which is basically creating more collagen wherever it's put. You have the microneedling, which is causing these I don't like to call them injuries, but like I guess that's what it is, like micro injuries, so that
Yeah.
when it heals back, it comes back even more. And so that the
Yes,
combination of those two is really the benefit of this.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
And so then what does it do? Like, is it making your skin more shiny? Does it make it look more youthful? Is it like all of the above? Like, what does it do exactly?
So basically, what happens is in our late 20s, we start losing collagen, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does collagen do? It's what keeps our face firm, plump, um, good texture, all of the stuff that you want. And once we start getting older, the number of collagens we have, unfortunately, start decreasing.
Mm. So
And
that's where
when
it
that
starts
happens,
like not what's it
sagging, kind
sagging,
of
that's the word.
loose.
Yeah.
So then that's when we get the sagging. That's when we get the fine lines. That's when a lot of people get like, they just don't have that glowy or smoothness or that youthful skin that they used to have.
Mm-hmm.
Microneedling brings all of that back.
Okay. So for people who have never gotten any type of treatment like this before, and they just say that, oh, I mean, can't I just use creams and moisturizers and things just to make my skin look good and be healthy? Like, what do you say?
Well, so I say, and I tell everyone that home care good skincare is very important. And we sell ZO in our clinic, ZO by Obagi. It's clinically proven to change your skin cells. Love it. Yes, I think that's why I tell everybody you should be on good skincare, but is it enough? No, it's not enough. Just like
Mhm.
one isn't enough, also just doing microneedling isn't enough. You really should have a combination of both.
Okay. So you need to have the home skincare routine plus this routine to really get the most out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. Now, when you compare this to other types of treatments out there, I mean, is there, I guess, what's the difference? Because I've noticed lots of other types of treatments, like there's different types of lasers. I know microneedling is very popular, which is largely what this is. But then there's like things like Botox and filler. So is it really just coming down to what is the end goal you're looking for? Or is it going to be kind of even specific by the individual? Like, oh, for you, like this may not work well, or this may not work well, or hey, you want to actually lift or plump or have more collagen, like that's what determines which treatment you get.
Yeah, well, I think what's good is a combination of everything, really.
Mm,
So I have a lot of clients that are like, you know what? I don't want to do Botox. I don't want to get Botox. I don't want to do fillers. Right now, there's a lot of controversy with fillers and it migrating, and then you're not getting plastic surgery. So that is very common right now. And if you are building collagen, you're going to need less Botox. You're going to need less fillers, unless you're getting lip fillers. There's nothing we can do about that, right?
okay.
But but you get it. It's like if you're building collagen, you're gonna need less of that.
Okay.
Because the reason you need Botox is because you're seeing fine lines.
Okay.
So
So with this treatment, it seems like this treatment is a little bit more natural, I guess you can call it.
exactly.
Like your skin is kind of repairing itself. The exosomes is helping with the healing process, whereas something like Botox or filler is a little bit more of this external thing that you're putting in there to get you a temporary result.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Now, when it comes with this type of treatment, what would you say is some of the common misconceptions or myths that you hear about this type of treatment?
I would say the number one is I'm so scared it's gonna hurt. And
Mm,
everyone thinks I'm not doing that, that hurts. Or I have a lot of clients that have done it before. Even me, the very first time I did microneedling, I don't know what horrible numbing cream they used. It did nothing. And I was literally crying while she was doing the treatment on me. So we use super expensive medical grade numbing cream. I've had clients fall asleep while I am microneedling
okay.
them.
That's
So
that. I think that's more of a testimony than anything else. If they can fall
it
asleep
was
while getting
a
it done,
it was amazing. I heard her, I thought her eyes were just closed, but then she started snoring, and I'm like, this is awesome.
yeah. Okay. So no pain. What about number of treatments? Like what should someone expect? I'm sure it depends on the person and what their end goals are, but like how many treatments should you get before you're going to start seeing results with it?
Okay, so I tell everybody four back to back, 4 to 6 weeks apart.
Okay.
Let's start with that. Four treatments back to back.
Mm,
And then 2 weeks later, we're gonna reassess. Okay.
mm,
Those a lot of I've had a client who's thin, whose skin was so thin because she had lost so much collagen, never really had done a treatment.
mm,
Her very first treatment, we did the duo, her very first treatment, easily irritated skin. I was like barely deep and she was already bleeding.
mm.
By the fourth treatment of doing this, I couldn't even get her to bleed at the most depth that we go, which is
Wow.
2. It's really crazy. So she got such amazing results. I told her, okay, now come back in 2 months and let's do another treatment and let's reassess. So we're just you constantly it's not a one size fits all, unfortunately,
Mm,
right? Everybody's
mhm.
skin is different.
Yeah.
Some people don't, then you just do a touch up. I tell everybody, no matter what, at least do a touch up every 3 months
Okay.
just to
So
keep
even
it
after
going.
you're done, you still want to maintain it.
Absolutely. It's like going to the gym to build muscle. Are you just going to go for 4 months and stop and hope
Mhm.
it's going to last forever? No, that's not
Mhm.
how it works. You got to keep maintenance.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, hopefully for the gym, you're not going once every 3 months. Hopefully going more often than that. But no, it's a good metaphor to understand.
Yeah, I
Like you
try.
you should keep it up. You should keep it up. Okay. So let's say that someone is looking for a provider who can help them with this, who's knowledgeable, who's experienced, who can really is a good fit for them. What
hmm
would be your most important piece of advice you would give to somebody who's looking for that good provider? Where do they start?
Um, I think ask your friends, family, you know, make sure their reviews are good.
Hmm.
Do a consultation. Go with your gut. See, like when you're sitting there, are they answering your questions correctly? Or are they just pushing for you to do treatment? Are they customizing correctly? Are they evaluating your skin correctly? Asking the right questions?
Hmm.
And, the best I think is referrals. That's really how I also grew my business. It's word of mouth, and if someone's done it with a person you can trust.
Mm, okay. And are there any red flags people should kind of keep in mind when they're doing this search?
Hum, red flags. Yeah, probably. I mean, you want to make sure the clinic is clean. I've
Mm,
had a lot of clients come and tell me that oh my God, we went somewhere and like the floor was dirty, the nurse was
Mm.
wearing flip-flops, like, you,
Yeah.
you want to look for professional atmosphere,
Yeah.
obviously.
Or maybe they
Um,
should actually go to a clinic and not someone's garage.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And it is important because we're dealing with things that need to be sterile. Like your microneedling tips need
Mm.
to be sterile. Like
Mm.
you really want to make sure, you're doing your research.
Okay. Now, what about quality of product? I mean, I'm hearing things like you can get Botox off of Amazon or Temu or something like that. And so it's like, should quality of product be something that the average person should kind of keep an eye out for when they go to look for a provider? And if so, like how can they keep an eye out for that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, part of it is you get what you pay for. There
Mm,
are people that really are looking for a deal constantly.
mhm,
And it's one thing if the business just opened and you got referred to them and they're lowering their costs because of that.
mhm,
And it's one thing if it's like very low. They might be,
mhm,
diluting their products. They
mhm.
might, God forbid, they're like reusing their needles. Like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
you can't look for a good deal all the time.
Okay. Okay. So price point is one good kind of metric to keep in mind. If it's too low, it's probably too good to be true.
I think so, yes.
Okay, got it. Now, I want to touch into education, the educational part of when you work with your clients. How do you approach educating them on the benefits of your treatments, particularly because I'm sure some people come in with those misconceptions we talked about, or they may be looking for one thing, but that's not the best fit for them. So, how do you approach that educational component of it?
Um, so really like being educated yourself and knowing the difference, right?
Mhm,
Um, and just being explaining to them like the duo facial. If I have a client, for example, that from heat gets melasma, we know that like she turns brown every time she goes in the heat. Well, then the laser facial is not good for that client because we are applying heat, right?
mhm,
Or if a client did microneedling before and for some reason had a bad reaction, then you should be smart enough to be like, okay, I know you want to do microneedling, but you've done it before.
mhm,
Let's look at something else. And we have treatments for people that cannot do microneedling, cannot do laser facial. I don't know if you heard of PRX, but
mhm,
that's a really up and coming, not new in Europe, but relatively new in America.
mhm.
But there's, you got to have treatments for all types of people, and you got to know who is a good candidate for each person.
Okay. And so now with that in mind, how important do you think it is to have an artistic eye in what you do? Because I think when people think about medicine, artistry is not necessarily the first word that comes to mind, but in aesthetics, I feel like it's a different story. So again, what role do you feel that having an artistic or how important is it to have an artistic eye?
Yeah, I think it's important, especially with fillers when some when a nurse or doctor's doing fillers, you really have to have the patience and have the eye for that. Um, but yeah, it's very important in aesthetics. I agree 100%.
Mhm. How about creativity? What role does creativity play in what you do?
Hmm. I think maybe being creative in terms of if a client cannot do a treatment, what can we do now?
Mm,
Maybe we can, okay, like for example, we had a client that had a package of 4 microneedling. Uh, After the second, we noticed a little bit of melasma. We're like, okay, we need to stop. Let's now work on skincare to treat the melasma before we do anything else. Just being creative in terms of, okay, what is the best next step for this person? It might not always go as you wanted it to go,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of being able to shift gears.
Okay. Just depending on what they need, and then you have to, yes, you know their goal, and it's just a way of finding the path to get to that goal, and there may be obstacles in your path.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And
Okay.
I guess like being smart enough to be like, okay, we wanted to do this,
Mm,
but this isn't this isn't going to happen tomorrow because of
Mhm.
this obstacle. Let's now shift over and do this and then revisit this, right?
Mhm. Okay. Now, Shona, I'm sure that throughout your experience, you've had some memorable cases that you've worked on. Is there maybe one that you can share that was either memorable or challenging, and how you were able to get them a great outcome in the end?
Hmm. I'm trying to think. Yes, we had a young girl who ended up she came in, she was booked for microneedling. We but then it turned out that she's on blood thinners, right? And you cannot do microneedling when you're on blood thinners.
Mm-hmm.
So she really wanted to do microneedling, but
Hmm.
then we reassessed and we're like, okay, you know what? The next best thing we can do is let's start you on some laser facials, right? So at least we're doing something.
Hmm.
And then she kind of worked with her doctor, got off the meds for a little bit, and then
Hmm.
we were able to do a microneedling session
Yeah.
with her, and then waited again, and then we kind of just made it work, you know.
Yeah.
Um, that that was interesting. That was the first time that I had a client like that, but also I had a client that came with horrible um, acne scars.
Mm-hmm.
And her before and afters were insane.
Hmm.
I mean, she was like, Sharona, I don't have to put makeup on for the first time ever in my life.
Wow.
So, and we did that with 4 of the duo treatment, which it's my favorite treatment. I think everybody should do it, no
Yeah.
matter what. Yeah.
I heard microneedling can do a lot for acne scars, can really get rid of just about everything.
Yes. For
Wow.
deeper ones that are stubborn or old,
Hmm.
better to do it with the laser facial. The results we're getting are much better
Okay. But
paired together.
okay,
Yeah.
but acne scarring can the treatment can definitely fix that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's good to know. Now, where do you think the future of aesthetics is going?
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. There's constantly new stuff happening.
Hmm.
Constantly new stuff. I get emails and calls and spam calls of this new laser, this new treatment, this new topical, and this new, and it's like,
Hmm.
I think, well, there's a lot happening with stem cells and exosomes for sure. A lot,
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
lot in medicine in general. And aesthetics included.
Hmm.
But like there's constantly new, better lasers and technology coming. So it's important to stay up to date and but also not things that are too new because you also
Yeah.
want you also want to know that it works before you
Mhm.
are offering your treatment to a client.
Yeah. Let someone else be the guinea pig first.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, it sounds like there's a lot on the horizon now. I mean, with regenerative medicine, it seems like it's getting more and more into the aesthetic
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And I mean, the science, I know they're still working through it, but I mean, the theory of it sounds really, really good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, Sharona, with your own practice, Get Glowing Med Spa, what's your vision for your practice?
What is my vision? Helping more people. Second, third location.
Mm, okay. So continue
Yeah,
to grow it. Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So growth. That's the name of the game.
Growth.
Growth. Okay. Sounds good.
Right?
Now, Sharona, I do have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I want to point people to your website, and I love this website, getglowingasap.com. So, last question is, what does beauty mean to you?
Ooh, beauty means to me feeling comfortable and happy. Whatever that is, whatever that is for you, right? Not someone telling you, "Oh, you should do Botox and get rid of that frown line," or "Oh, your skin." It's so personal and it has to do with your own confidence and what makes you happy
Mhm.
and getting to what makes you happy.
Got it. Well, there you have it, Sharona sharing her expertise. So, Sharona, where can people contact you in your practice?
So our website has all our information. Our Instagram is Get Glowing Med Spa, and we're located in Century City in Los Angeles. And yeah.
Okay. Well, Sharona, this is awesome. Thanks for coming on and thanks for sharing your message.
Thank you so much, Daniel. It was awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.